Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. What would you do with $1 million windfall? That question was the topic of a survey in a March 28, 2023 article by Jessica Whitehouse in onlinegambling.com. She said, this is how Americans would spend $1 million in lottery winnings. Now, before I read past the headline, I mentally answered, blow it. However, the article said that 80% of the 500 respondents said they would do one of three things with the money. They'd buy a house, invest it, or pay off debts. Maybe that was a sign that people are way more practical and conservative than I was giving them credit for, but I really wasn't convinced. So I dug a little deeper and I found an excellent article with research on lotteries, inheritances, and other windfalls by Jay Zagorski. And he's an economist and former professor at the Iowa State University. His article was titled Winner of 1.5 Billion Powerball Faces Long Odds, but even longer odds of keeping it. He posted that on his blog in January 12th, 2016. And it's a fascinating article. I'll summarize a little bit of his research where he said this suggests many people quickly spend any unexpected windfalls. And he goes on to say, other studies found that instead of getting people out of financial trouble, winning the lottery got people into more trouble, since bankruptcy rates soared for lottery winners 3 to 5 years after winning. Now, that kind of agrees with my experience, right? But I was attempting not to fall into confirmation bias here. Zagorski cited a 2001 paper by economists Guido Imbens and Bruce, I can't even say his last name, and a statistician, Donald Rubin. And they found that lottery winners saved only 16 cents of every dollar won. That means they spent 84 cents. He points out that overall research which shows lottery winners and people getting windfalls spend or blow through much of the money. Okay, I was feeling better about my blow it comment. So, like I said, his findings are certainly more in line with what I've experienced than are the findings of the online gambling survey that said 80% are going to do something really smart with the money. Well, that would admit that 20% of the survey respondents had less financially conservative intentions for their winnings. And according to the research, they would use the money to travel, start a business, give to charities, families, friends, purchase a luxury vehicle, get a cosmetic procedure, buy a private island, or go into space. Now, all of those are spending activities except starting a business, which typically doesn't end well for the majority of those who do. So it's easy to see how a windfall would be quickly eroded for the 20%. But what about the 80% that intend to do financially wise things with the money? One possible factor which Zagorski describes quite clearly and understandably is the impact that taxes have on lottery winnings. $1 million jackpot in the headlines is going to amount to a significantly smaller annual check after all the taxes are withheld, and you've got state and local taxes to consider. If you're fortunate enough to live in South Dakota, maybe only 36% of that, or on every 1,360,000, goes to taxes. If you're unfortunate to live in California, Oh man, around 60% of that, or 600,000, could go to taxes. However, I don't think that's the number one reason that there's going to be general problems, because the people that are spending the money, they have the same tax code. I think the biggest reason for the disconnect between the online gambling survey and Zikorsky's research can be boiled down to the difference between people's perception of reality and reality. There is often a substantial gap between our intentions, what I should do, and our behavior, what I will do. Here's where the perception especially departs from reality. I mean, I could fill a book with stories of people that I've known who've lost substantial sums, sometimes everything they had, in real estate and stock market transactions. Included in that book would be people who paid down or paid off debt only to turn around and borrow it all back. Just because we think we will take a seemingly positive financial course, or a should and an ought gets in there, that I should take a positive course, doesn't mean that we've got the knowledge, the discipline, the clarity, and the courage to pull it off. Both academic research and the stories of lottery winners suggest that people quickly spend inheritances and windfalls. That's regardless of their best intentions. This is why Susan Bradley, who's the author of Sudden Money, suggests getting professional help to process the life transition that you're going through, which would be getting the inheritance or the lottery winning, before making any financial decision. She calls that the decision-free zone, DFZ. Doing that is really an important first step toward aligning your perceptions of reality with the reality of your changed financial status. Thanks for joining me.